Bonjour, mon chers. C'est gentil à soi. Thursday. We back. I'm in what we consider the heart of the forest on our favorite fallen tree here. Got all my accoutrements. We're here for our weekly oracle reading with the Romance Angels oracle cards. And because I'm sitting here straddling this log, went ahead and shuffled to pull the cards. And I can't even with this reading. This reading is like an episode of The Outlander. I can't even. It's so it's almost exploitive. I half thought of just reshuffling and then doing this later at home, but I was like, well, that wouldn't be authentic and that would be oracle abuse. It's better to believe what comes out first. But it's so a romance oracle reading, that's for sure. And you'll see what I mean. Okay. First card we pulled was Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. These two people are just strolling through the forest, walking into the light. It looks like a bride and her father going down this path, probably to the altar or whatever, maybe. I don't know. I think they just pull art from wherever, but two people in the forest. Could be the internal divine marriage of the masculine and feminine energies within. This could be divine revelation that is coming into your conscious awareness, or you could just need to literally take time out and go and walk through the forest and just connect to nature in some way, or get your feet in the ground, or take a salt bath or something. But do take time out for yourself and time to center and reflect, because when you do, that's when that deep voice, that inner voice can come through. The voice of spirit that nurtures you and gives you renewal and resurrection. And that's what we're doing right now, right? It's the Scorpio season is all about death and rebirth. So it's got a lot to do with that phoenix cycle of burning down to ash, being in this gestative state in the void for a minute, and then in that fertile darkness we are rebirthed. And so I think we're pulling it all together again in the phase of the butterfly in the cocoon, where we're soup, but we're not the big soup again. This is a quick soup, right? And the imaginal cells are all regrouping and reforming into this new life that we're getting previews of, but it's just not started yet, because the consciousness is still coming into being. Ooh, when in Harry Potter, when Voldemort was pulling himself together, that's what we're doing, but we're the good guys. So you need time to retreat. So take time out for yourself to get quiet and center and be able to listen, and let your spirit and your mind and your heart and your soul settle and recalibrate, so that you can hear clearly and you can be refreshed to start on your best foot forward, moving on the path of this new cycle into this new day. The reason why I thought it's more and more precious as the cards unfold, because the one that follows it, you're that's not too sensational, Liz. But the next one is wedding. This situation involves marriage, but it does involve the marriage of the masculine and the feminine. I mean, look at the fact that these people are wearing black and white, the positive and the negative, the masculine and the feminine. It's not an accident or a mistake. And it's also not a mistake so the feminine is represented by the dark and the masculine is actually represented by the white. And it just occurred to me that in these cases, the bride is cloaked with the masculine shroud and the masculine is cloaked with the feminine shroud, which is the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies in material form. Oh my God, you're hearing it here live, people, live on the scene. twin flame, masculine, divine masculine and feminine, holy marriage, union, revelation. Preach. Okay, so it may not literally involve literal marriage, or maybe it does. Maybe a situation involves whether or not you meet, or whether or not you marry or not marry. I mean, that's a really broad way to look at this card. So I try not to read into these things too literally, but sometimes they are actually literal. So I don't know. maybe something involves marriage for you. But don't get too ahead of yourself, because the next card is pay attention to red flags. Don't get too carried away. Yeah, maybe like pump the brakes a little. The signs are cautioning you. So this is a perfect thing to come up, because as we're birthing this new cycle, we're going to be faced again with like our life's repeat themes that we have been going through in our story so far. And this time around, we have the consciousness to use our free will to decide what we want to do this time. What life are we creating this time around? Who are we becoming this time around? So you want to pay attention to your default settings that are going to be coming up, and your tendency to repeat the same sort of like insecurities, the same, desire to maybe like control, or like, be afraid of vulnerability or whatnot. So try to do it differently this time. Try to do it in a way that you haven't before. Think about the ways that you've approached relationships before, and try to do it differently this time. Remember how it played out, and try to understand why, right? Do something with it. We need to like digest the things that have happened to us so we can use them productively. And then, don't ignore red flags. Just face them head on. I think that's another way we can embody being an up-leveled version of ourselves. It's like, would our higher self ignore red flags? No, they would just like nip it in the bud right off the bat. So definitely pay attention to old cycles. It's like everyone's a work in progress. No one's going to be perfect, and you don't have to wait till you're perfect to like start anything new, or like lend yourself to like working on the relationship you're already in. Always start now. The power of now. There is only the now. But the work is becoming aware and conscious of your patterns and the red flags to heal them, revisit them, unbox them, see what you can do to change yourself. Transformation happens first from within you, and then sometimes your situation and the people around you can also change, but not because you sort of start pushing it on them or preaching to them in any way. It has to happen spontaneously for them, or they have to choose transformation. We can only change ourselves. We can only grow ourselves. We can't save other people. They have to do that. They have to do that by their choice. So don't be trying to save anybody. Give them to Jesus. And then our last card is like, hold your breath, folks. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Just in case you were wondering. In case you didn't notice, so far we've had retreat. We've had wedding. We've had red flag. Pay attention to your old patterns, and soulmate. And what better study partner to present to you? It's like, I don't want to say this in an irresponsible way, because it's like, we don't want to be with people who continuously put red flags in our face. So there's a toxic level of that. But there's also, in a healthy way, like being devoted and committed to a partner mutually, and like doing the work to grow and evolve together. And it's never going to be perfect, and it's never going to be easy. And so the healthy level of that is a soulmate, right? And it's like when you can elevate and transcend your patterns instead of repeating them. So it's not that you won't be faced with your patterns or red flags with a soulmate, but the soulmate would be the equal person who's willing to like see the patterns and like try to interrupt them and rewrite the script. So soulmate is not a person or a specific person. It can be many people. It can be, you know, a friend, a family member. Some people say that they've had pets that are soulmates. And it could be romantic partners, and it could be life partners. Sometimes people marry their soulmate. Some people marry their twin flame. Some people do not. But it can be. But soulmate in Kabbalah, we learn that it's like a level of relationship that you really strive to, and that you have to have established a certain level of consciousness and healing and understanding and emotional development to like even be able to have and attract a soulmate level partnership. So that is very hopeful. So take heart, like it's really the soulmate level relationship you're looking for. So it's never just like one specific person. That's the illusion. That's the trick, is that ever thinking that there's only one solution or one answer or one way of anything. Someone's coming in, then I always get like shy because I'm making a video and talking into my phone, and then I feel like a monster. So I think that we're done for the reading today. But you guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Ciao.